Hi everyone, welcome back to The Rush. Well, we love to talk about real estate here in Vancouver, especially with Condo Leo, because he brings his bad MLS photos. And don't worry, we've got a few choice ones today. But today we're going to talk a little real estate 101 with Leo Wilk. How are you?
I'm great.
How are you, Condo?
I'm doing good.
So Real Estate 101, we're not just talking for first-time home buyers, we're also talking about people who might be second-time around.
Exactly, and I've started noticing this in the last few years, is whether it's a first-time buyer, usually when I say a term, I just see their face go blank, even though they're going like this, and I go, you don't know what I just said there. And as realtors, we're super guilty of that, because all we do is talk real estate. All my friends are realtors, or they work for a developer or something like that, so all day we talk about it. But then when you talk to someone who doesn't live that life, they're drawing blanks. Just like when a teacher would get mad at you back in the day for not knowing what the flex curve is, and you're going, well, that's all you talk about. I have no clue what to see. You remember those days where they just, so it's just, when we're talking real estate, as realtors, we need to be aware that the words we're using, it's kind of like foreign language to a lot of people. It
is a foreign language to me, and I just sold and bought my second home, but the second time around, I got overwhelmed again. I thought, because, you know, there's so many things that are new, there's so many things that you need to do, your little checklists and stuff, but let's dumb it down for people like me. We're gonna do the terms first, the offer.
The offer, so that one's pretty self-explanatory, but it's the offer and the contract of purchase and sale. So whether you're the seller or the buyer, the offer is obviously very important. That's going to have the dates, that's going to have the price, that's going to have some of the subjects. There's a term we'll get to later. That's going to have some terms in there. So the offer is kind of the essence, and it's got a bunch of things in there that go with the contract.
Right, it's not just the amount.
No, and
there are a lot of other things that go along with the offer.
And then when you counter offer, it's not just the price. It could be dates, it could be terms, it's all these things. So there's a ton of stuff within that offer.
Okay, let's get to subjects. This confuses a lot of people. Subjects, are there subjects? The subjects removed?
Exactly. So there's subjects and there's kind of terms. So subjects are the conditions you will buy this place if these conditions are met. So the most used ones are subject to sale, or sorry, subject to inspection, or subject to sale, or subject to financing. So I'm going to buy your home if I can be approved for this amount of mortgage, or I'm going to buy this home if the inspection goes well, type of thing. So once you have those subjects in place, usually it's 7 days, 10 days, something like that. Once you remove those subjects, that's a good thing.
And financing and inspection, when we're talking about condos, definitely are the top two.
Yeah, financing these days is becoming more and more tricky, because if the building's had leaks, the CMHC doesn't want to be anywhere near it. The insurance premiums are high now, things like that. Inspection, some buildings you can access the roof in other areas, some you can't. So the inspector really goes in the suite, checks it out. The nice thing about most inspection companies now is they'll read the minutes for you, or the reports, and that really, really, really helps.
It's worth the money. I wouldn't buy a place without getting it inspected, but a lot of people do, which surprises me, but
it's buyer beware, I guess.
Absolutely. Okay, let's get to the addendum. What does this mean?
So the addendum is actually where the subjects go in. It's at the end of the contract of purchase and sale, and it's just where you put everything else. So there's about 4 pages of standard stuff in the contract, price, terms, all that, things like that, dates. The addendum is where you put things to protect you, like when you bought your place, it was probably, if any special levy is approved before I close, the seller pays that. And when I say levy, I mean, let's say the building says, you know what, we need new windows, and it's $8,000 for your suite. If that got approved before you're the owner, it goes into the seller's, that comes off the seller's side, not yours. So that would be in the addendum, which is another term that protects you as a buyer with your subjects and then the terms as well.
Okay, completion date. What does that mean?
Completion date is the date you actually, the money goes through. Like you're owned by the bank now. That's completion date.
There you go. Yes. That's the date that your life will change. And possession date.
Possession date is the day you actually get your keys. The typical is the day after completion date at noon. Most people do, but a lot of sellers sometimes say, you know what, after you complete, can you give me 4 days, because then I can complete on my place and move in, and it's not, you're not doing bridge financing or something like that, you know. So it's just, a lot of sellers like to push it a few days, but usually it's the day after.
And this is when a good real estate agent makes sure that everything is lined up for you, so that you're not stressing if you're selling a place, you get possession at the time, so everything will hopefully be a smooth transition.
Yeah, dates actually they're a lot more the negotiation than you would think, because it is really important. If the offer's so good, I say, how do you think about these dates? The seller go, I don't care. I don't care if they're tomorrow. That is a good offer. But a lot of times it's, you know, this just doesn't work for me. I need to push it a few days or bring it back or something like that.
And you briefly mentioned bridge financing.
Yes.
What does that mean for people who don't know?
I don't even know what it means, to be honest, but it's...
it means that you can bridge the gap between both places.
Bridge the gap. So they can, if your place, let's say you closed on your new place, but you haven't sold your other place for 2 days, they bridge that gap for you.
Yeah.
It'd be better to have a mortgage broker explain how it works, but it just makes it so you don't have to do some extraordinary thing to you don't have to get another mortgage, then do something. They bridge the gap, I guess.
Right. Okay, let's adjustment date. What's this?
Adjustment date is when you start paying the taxes, the hydro, all that. So adjustment date is the place is now yours, you're paying all those dates, and it falls on the same as possession date. So completion date's different, the adjustment's the same as possession date.
And subject removal?
Subject removal, so as a seller, it's a good day because you've officially sold your home. That's when the deal is done. Subject removal.
That's when you can breathe as a sigh of relief.
Exactly, and as a buyer, you feel great, but you're also now nervous that you're owning a home.
Yes, when you freak out a little bit. Yep. And firm?
Firm is pretty much the same thing as subject removal. Once the deal's firm, that's it. If you've got a deposit in, and it closes in 2 months, if you try to get away from that deal, something happens. Sometimes people pass away, something like that. That deposit now could be kept by the seller if they like.
Okay, and property disclosure statement. So
property disclosure statement, that's an important form. So as a seller, you have to fill out what's PDS, or property disclosure statement. We always say PDS to buyers, and they're like, what the heck is that? So they have to disclose everything they know about the property. Your parking stall, your maintenance fees, whatever the case may be.
Storage locker.
Any assessments coming up. Have you paid any in the last 5 years? Everything that they can disclose they do. Was it a grow-op or something? So they need to disclose that. And it's really important. If you've never lived in the home, technically you don't have to fill it out. Legally you don't have to, but I always suggest still doing it because you should be disclosing everything because it could cause problems down the road.
Okay, and Form B?
Form B. So Form B you get usually after you make an offer, and that's part of the subject to looking at the Form B and reviewing it. Again, that'll confirm your strata fees, parking stall, whether you owe any money to the strata, whether there's any upcoming things that have already been paid, things like that. So pretty much just discloses everything about that particular suite from the strata.
And statement of adjustments?
That is the final thing you sign at the lawyer. So it's like the credit and debit. It's like in a little accounting sheet. It's very straightforward. Prepaid taxes, things like that. It takes into account your deposit, all that, and then it shows pretty much you're paying the seller this amount type of thing.
Okay, easier said than done, but there you go. Those are all the terms, all you need to know. But you're right, when all those terms are flying at you, when you're making the biggest decision of your life, if you don't know, don't be shy to sit down with your real estate agent, grab a coffee, and make sure that you understand everything that you're doing.
Exactly. When I'm dealing with someone in any other industry and they're talking to me, I go, what? So I need to treat that the same. Even though Vancouver's talked about, real estate's so talked about here, we still don't know the fine terms all the time.
Absolutely. Okay, let's get to the real estate market. Still hot, hotter than ever, actually. It seems like a lot of places are going over asking right now. We're going to talk about a townhouse that did exactly that. Where was this one?
Well, the reason I'm bringing this one up is last year I was saying the market was going to crash. So this townhome, we bought it in 2012. For $508,000. You can see where it is. BC Place is in the window, or the mirror there.
It's really nice.
So we bought it 2 years ago. He decided to sell because he saw a property he liked, and we said, let's put it on the market. He paid $508 for it.
Oh, I saw this one on your website. The balcony is outstanding.
Unbelievable. I think 500 square foot balcony. There's 4 patios in the whole place. It's a 2-level townhome. He bought it for $508 2 years ago. We just sold it for $570.
That's fantastic. So $60,000 over asking. I mean,
it wasn't
over.
In a couple of years, yeah.
In a couple of years.
And it's one of those things, it's supply and demand. We priced it high because we knew there's no other patio on the market like that right now. We said, what's it worth to someone with summer approaching especially?
Yeah.
So all the people are saying, don't buy, don't buy. Well, he bought. He took a risk and it paid off. Not that every risk pays off, but just if you're
Well, it is exactly that. It's a risk. And we're talking about some risks that did pay off. There's another one that we're going to talk about. This was in how long?
This was 8 months ago. I bought a buyer into this townhome in Kits. He decided that Kits just doesn't work for him anymore. He was late for work a few times, said I got to get back downtown. So I sat down with him. He bought it for $474 9 months ago. We talked about pricing. I said, I'm pricing this at $518. He goes, no way. I go, I guarantee you this is a good price for you. We just sold it for $520.
Good for you.
8 months his turnaround. It's crazy.
So 8 months, $45,000.
Just like that. And again, last year especially, people were saying, don't buy, don't buy, don't buy. Kits was actually having a little bit of a tough time. So it just shows if you're going to be the negative Nancy, we always say this will just keep happening to you. You're going to keep pricing yourself out of the market because it just keeps happening. Okay,
let's get to the part that we love, the bad MLS photos. Now, to explain, if you've never seen this segment before, these are actual photos that real estate agents and sellers have decided, I know, this will sell my home. Let's go to the first one.
Yes. So this one, the reason I'm showing these first two, actually, it's a brand new building, priced at $328. It didn't actually sell, but does this picture look like it's a brand new building? You know, brand new. It looks dark. This is the picture, and you got a little guy in the window there. I always like.
They got a little reflection.
Yeah, and as the seller, I just don't see how they can allow their realtor to do that. This is a brand new place. Look at the developer's marketing compared to what it looks like now.
And we say this time and time again. You're trying to sell this place.
Exactly.
Hire a photographer.
Exactly. The pictures I use, my photographer, I love him. That guy who sold the townhome, he wanted to buy him a case of wine. He said, he made my place look so good, I didn't want to leave it for one. And he drove so many people in there because it looks so good.
Okay, let's get to the next one. What do we got here?
So this one, under construction. This picture has been up for 2 months now.
This is on actually selling a home. This
is the only picture on the website. The place is done. It's been built for years.
But they're saying it's under construction.
The pictures are under construction. Okay. It's a townhome priced at $848,000. You can't sell a place without one picture. No, the market's not that hot.
It's not that hot. It's not going to sell itself.
It's hot, but it's not that hot. And that's the problem. People do think it'll just go because of Vancouver.
Yeah.
You've got to put money in.
You've got to put a little bit of effort. Next picture. What is this?
You know what? This one's funny. The pictures of the actual suite for this one are good. It's a condo in Gastown, but when I saw this, I just started laughing, and I said, well, that's a really good selling feature. Ice cream sandwiches are back.
Of the half a dozen photos they're going to have, well, I like ice cream sandwiches.
Everyone likes ice cream sandwiches.
Who doesn't?
I like that
let's get through these really quick. Next one.
This one is northbound. This one actually sold.
Okay, not only do I feel like this sold, not only do I feel like I'm drunk because it's so blurry, what is that person doing in the mirror?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I didn't know.
Is that a ghost?
Someone's in the washroom.
That's not right.
This one is just creepy. This is the Blair Witch chair, I call it.
This is the haunted house.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to buy this home? No, because there's a ghost sitting in that chair. Okay, next picture.
This is a different place now. This is the cook's kitchen.
Oh, God. Oh, God. That just makes my OCD hurt. You cannot do that and sell your home. Always a pleasure, Leo. If you want to find out more information, you can visit Leo's website. All his listings are there, as well as a ton of great info. You can go to condoleo.ca or follow him on Twitter as condo_Leo. We're going to take a short break.